The first thing we need to look at is, well, what is experience? What counts? What can I put on my resume? Experience doesn't just come from work. There's a lot of different things that you're already doing that's going to get you some experience that is relevant to the employer that you can put on your resume. Here are some examples. If you have an interesting hobby that aligns well with the industry, then you're in really good shape. For example, what if you enjoy doing digital art in Photoshop and you want to become a designer who uses Photoshop? Many people are part of clubs, whether through school or through social clubs, and these clubs might have projects or positions you can use to get that experience. Many people volunteer. If you volunteer at a robotics institute where you get to work with a professor, for example, and you're applying to a research job, well, suddenly you have a lot of experience. Part-time jobs, even if they're unrelated, can still be used to show that you have the experience as long as you show it properly. You don't just want to say you were a cashier, you really want to say how that cashier job is going to get you that experience dealing with clients and helping them to understand their needs. School is a fantastic place to gain experience. You're already doing coursework. Whether you're in high school or university or college or taking some kind of a trade, you're getting that experience just by sitting in the classroom and learning. And finally, you might just be interested in something. Maybe you've never really learned about how to physically set up a network in your home, for example, or maybe to program in Python, but you're interested in programming and you've been reading a lot of articles about it. That's a good thing you can start turning into your experience. The problem isn't the experience that you think you lack. Sometimes, yes, you do need to gain some more experience, and we'll talk about how to do that in a moment. But the problem often that I see when I'm looking at a student's resume or a first-time job applicant's resume is that they have this amazing experience, but they're not showing me how it relates to the job. Let's think about a marketing job. What you want, this is something you want to show the employer you can do. You have a demonstrated ability to get people to notice and interact with ideas. It's a marketing job, it seems to be for social media. But you don't have that experience because you've never been a marketer before. What you do have, though, is 500 followers on social media. You understand focusing on your audience. You know how to craft a post that makes people notice. You understand the needs and the interests of your followers because you have more and more and more. That experience, even if it's just using Instagram in high school, is something that you can use to drive that job home. Think of a job search a lot like you're selling something, and this isn't a bad thing. The company wants to pay for a service. They're looking to buy something, which is your time, knowledge, skills, and experience. They have very specific requirements for what they'll pay for. If you're looking to buy a car and someone shows up to you with a baseball bat, you're not going to pay for that, even if it's an amazing baseball bat. You need to sell your unique skill set to them in an appealing way that makes them pay attention and say, we want to spend the money on this. We want to spend the resources so that we can get back more than what we put in. There's a number one rule that you cannot violate, and we're going to be talking about it over and over and over throughout this course. That rule is, it's not about you. Some people have amazing experience. They might have been on the executive of many, many different clubs. They were a treasurer. They were looking after $1 million in some kind of a budget for a volunteer organization. But if it isn't relevant to the job, then that isn't going to get you the job. So think of it this way. Don't talk about how awesome you are. You're competing against a lot of awesome people. Talk about how your awesomeness can give the company what they want. So if they're looking for someone who's fantastic at finance and you were a treasurer for $1 million volunteer organization, that is relevant. If you just put it on treasurer at this organization, then that's not really going to get them to notice because that's about you. Here's some other examples. It was great that you're a swim instructor, but if you're looking for a welding job, that's not going to help you. On the other hand, if you were a swim instructor, that's really going to help you with the customer support job because you're dealing with the needs of different people as you teach them. It's how you sell your experience and what relevance that experience helps you to bring to the job. So that's the number one rule. Focus what you say on the needs of the company. A lot of people also want to stuff their resume with as much as they possibly can so it looks like they have more. It's not about you. If it isn't relevant, then you're wasting their time and potentially burying that important experience that you actually have in something that no one can really find. So, number one rule, it's not about you.